This here is a carburetor off of a Tecumseh lawnmower. The problem with it is that it's plugged. Somewhere there's dirt and it is causing one of the small passageways to be clogged. So today I'm going to show you how to clean this by hand. You can use an ultrasonic cleaner like this one, although most people don't have one, so I will teach you how to do it by hand. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is pull out the primer bulb. I've already taken this out, but I will show you how to do this. So all you're going to need for this is a small slotted screwdriver or a pick. They sell these, which are picks. I don't have one at the moment, but anyway, what you want to do is reach in here behind this ring. I'll show you. The ring looks like this. It has little teeth on it and they're bent up. So they go into this cylindrical cutout and they push against the sidewalls, which keep it in place. But what you want to do is go out in the side of it and pry up and go all the way around until you get it out. So just like that. And then once you get it to a point where the ring is out of the cylinder, like here you can see it's all out all the way around, then grab it and pry it up. The next step is to remove this jet here. To do this, all you'll need is a solid screwdriver. I'll be using the same one once again, and just unscrew it and take it right out. There it is. That's all it is. It just has two holes, one on either side of it, and then one right there. The next step is to remove this jet here at the bottom. This is your main jet. Also is the screw that holds on your float bowl. To remove that, I'll be using 1/2-inch socket on a 1/4-inch ratchet. So I'll remove that screw and crack it loose so I can undo it with my fingers. There it is. So don't lose this gasket, otherwise you'll have fuel leaking out of your carburetor. Now, what you want to do is pull off this float bowl here. So, and there we go. That's it there. It's very clean, in fact, but set that aside. And now, peel off this gasket. Sometimes they're a little stuck, and you'll need to use an X-Acto knife and run it around here, the seam. Now, in here, you can right away remove this pin that holds your float in place. This is your float. And now we're going to remove this float. Sorry for the camera not being focused, but I'll use these pliers. Sometimes they're also stuck and you'll need to whack them out with a punch and a hammer. A screwdriver sometimes works as well. But this one, lawnmowers are usually pretty good, but sometimes I've had them get stuck. So put that there, and now you want to bend this up, or like pull it up, and there. That is your needle on this silver thing. Okay, wait, focus. Okay, there we go. That is your needle down there, and the brass piece or copper piece is your float. So I go like such. Now set our float aside, a float bowl. Now there's the needle, and there's where your fuel comes in again. I'll show you that. There's a little rubber down there, and that is what this point on here pushes against and goes into and seals it up. And what you want to watch out for is they sometimes have a ring running around the top of the point. That means that this needle is starting to wear out, and that'll cause your carburetor to flood or leak gas. So there, now we have the whole carburetor disassembled, and we'll move on to the cleaning phase. Alrighty, this next step, the cleaning step, is you'll need these three parts of your carburetor: the main body of your car, your main jet, and the secondary jet here. Now you want to clean all three of those, as well as your float bowl if there's anything in there. but in this case it's clean, so I won't worry about that. Now, how I like to clean these by hand is I'll start with this main jet here, and I'll use some carb cleaner. I'm using this MotoMaster stuff, but my favorite stuff is made by Clean Flow because it's high pressure and it works very well. So what you want to do, I'm actually going to throw on a glove because this stuff is not healthy. So I'll throw on a glove here, and now usually they have a nozzle. I've lost it, but anyway, if you just spray it through here, get it in there. Here, remove this gasket as well, and spray some in there and let it sink down. And then what I'm using here are some torch head cleaning wires, and you can use a normal like Glad tie or any little thin wire. I like these. They have little serrations, kind of. So if it's a very bad clog, you can kind of clean it out. So first, I'll go through these two. Don't make sure not to if you're using a serrated wire such as this one, you do not want to open up the hole too much, otherwise you'll also get flooding. Now, go through that hole there and clean it. That one's open. And now finally the main one. You'll go through it. Now I'll put that back aside and I'll move on to the next one, where I will repeat the same process and go through all of these holes. Now we'll move on to the main carburetor. This one you want to do in kind of systematic order to make sure you get all the little venturis. And so there's a rubber down here which you don't want to damage. So we're not going to be putting carb cleaner down there because you don't eat away at the rubber. So all I'm going to do is stick a wire in here and a wire through here. You can remove this rubber, but I will not do that right now. To do that, the easiest way I find is to, if you have a compressor, compress it all the way up, and then put your air nozzle in here and spray it, and it normally forces the air through and pops out that rubber. Make sure you don't lose it, or it's best to replace it. And now or the other way is just by using a pick, but I'm not going to be removing it, so I'm just going to put my wire through here and put it through here. And that seems unclogged. And now I'll go through here, and you can see it comes out all the way through. And again, there's a little rubber there, that little black rubber. So you do not want to put any carb cleaner on there either. And then now. So now you've cleaned all your parts of your carburetor. The last thing, this is optional, this is to really make sure you have everything unclogged. You want to fire up your air compressor and blow through it. So just go through it in the same order you cleaned it. Although what you don't want to do is do not blow this passageway out using through here. Make sure to put the nozzle on here and not in here, because this will blow out that rubber and you'll lose it. So just blow through this end. Yeah, and then that's it. So yeah, I'll be back once I've done that, and then we'll move on to reassembly. I have now blown through this with the air compressor. It is now 100% clean, as well as the main jet and this other secondary jet. So, so we will start on the reassembly of this carburetor. First thing I'm going to do is reinsert that jet right into there, and snug it up. This is common sense. Don't over tighten it and strip out all your threads. Just tighten it to a point. So there, it's where it stops, and then just give it a bit of a snug up. Yeah, use common sense. Don't strip it out. That's now tight enough. It's not going to go anywhere. So move on to the next thing. I'm going to put in the primer bowl. Sometimes these rip and tear, so what you want to do is make sure that it's not ripped or torn. And you also want to clean it. This one's dirty inside. So I'm going to clean that out, then put it in there, and I will show you how to do that as well. Cleaned out the inside of it, so it's nice and clean now. And I've also inspected it for holes. It does not have any. So we will reinsert it. So what you want to do is bring it in level with the cylinder there, and then press on it just with your thumb, finger, whatever. Push it in a little. Then you want to take one screwdriver, and you want to push in, oh, okay, it wants to go over there. Push in the little ring that you pried out earlier. Round it almost as hard as you can. Just, again, common sense. Push it down, and just think about that seal. So now, your primer bulb is installed, and we're ready for the next step. Install the float and the needle. So we're going to need to put this needle back on the float, and to do that, there's a bit of a lip there on this float. You can see it right there. And you want to bring this over and just slide that on there. Oh, okay. Okay. Just like so. Doesn't really matter what direction the wire is, as long as that's on. Now, you will see it's on both sides, but under the center lip. So now, tilt it this way, bring it over to the carburetor, twist it around, just like that, and then like that. Now set it in, making sure these two ears are on the inside of these two ears. Then I will take this pin, slide it into there, and line up all four of the ears, and get it in there. So it's about even, the pin's sticking out evenly on each side. Next step, install this float bowl gasket. Sometimes your float bowl will leak, and many times if you buy an Oregon carburetor, they have bad float bowl gaskets, so you'll need to replace it with the original manufacturer's gasket. This one is still decent, so I'm going to leave it on there. Then you want to install your float bowl. Make sure that it's clean in here. Lots of times they're green and all gummed up with ethanol and other gunk that's not supposed to be in there. And then you want to put that in on this carburetor. It's positioned like this so that this flat piece is at the pivot point of this float. So there's a pivot point, and that allows the float to have maximum travel because it has a deeper space here. Then take your main jet and your gasket and put that back on there and reinstall it into your carb. And tighten it down. Tighten down the float bowl, and again, when tightening this down, use common sense and don't over tighten it and strip out all your threads. So I hope you enjoyed. Your carburetor should be clean after following all these steps, and I'm now going to reinstall this on the mower, and it should run. So like and subscribe, or dislike if you didn't like the video. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.